The Seattle Mariners, as I like to say, the hottest team in baseball.
I wouldn't even say the hottest team in baseball, Sammy. I'm going as far off as saying the best team in baseball.
I mean, that's a little insane to say. They're not the best team in baseball, but they are the hottest team in baseball right now. And they are a team that, despite making a midseason trade where it seems like they were technically sellers, despite other teams like the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim buying some pitching and buying some bats, they get 4 games swept by the Mariners. The team the Mariners traded policy wild to, the Arizona Diamondbacks, are on a 7-game or 8-game losing streak, I believe, which is a bigger losing streak than the Mariners' 7-game winning streak. And it's just weird that this team for 2 years in a row, back-to-back, has found a way, George, to get past like the midseason point being around the midseason point being an average or okay or a little below average baseball team last year to becoming the hottest team in baseball. And this is 2 years in a row where with a lot of the same guys this happens. And I just don't know, like, is it this type of dudes? Is it just because baseball is baseball? Like, what is the answer to this?
You're listening to the Sports on Tap Seattle podcast. Two brothers, George and Sammy, talk all things Seattle sports. Also, NBA. Please bring back our Supersonics.
I don't know what the answer is, Sam, but one thing I kind of think about sometimes is weather. Baseball in general it's easier to hit a baseball when it's warm. The Mariners have been hitting better. You got guys like Julio Rodriguez, Gino Suarez. They're coming from warmer climate countries. A lot of the guys spend their off seasons in Arizona. A lot of guys, spring trainings in Arizona. So maybe that April, little colder, May colder, June starts heating up, and then once July, warm weather baseball, the Mariners start playing better in warm weather. Do you have another explanation? Because I don't. It's been 2 years in a row, so that's my explanation for now.
I mean, I know the players have mentioned that they like, roof open, sun's out, ball travels better at the marine layer in Seattle. Which plays a role, but that doesn't excuse you from when you're playing in Los Angeles that you still can't hit in the first half of the season. So they were a 500 team at home and a 500 team at the road. So in my humble opinion, it made no fucking difference. But maybe the ability to also feel more comfortable at home makes you also more comfortable on the road. There's always the
whole country's warmer.
Yeah, but we play in places like Texas and Anaheim and Houston where it is always their winters are sometimes the hottest days of the summer in Seattle. 75, 80 degrees. So it doesn't, there's teams that play in hot weather all year. There's teams that play in mild. I'm just saying for the Mariners, because it is warmer at home, it doesn't make a difference if it's warmer in Texas with the roof closed. It's actually the ball probably traveled better when it was 75 degrees in April compared to, now in 100 degrees with the roof closed. But I think the momentum that they've been able to pick up at home can probably help their momentum with the bats later in the, when you go on the road and stuff. There is something about feeling good at home, winning games at home, and then being like, oh, now I can, feel comfortable wherever I go.
Yeah, I mean, that could be what it is. We all know that baseball's such a confidence sport anyway. So maybe you're right. Maybe it's just that confidence level. You're starting to hit better at home. You get better on the road. Things just start going good. You start believing in yourself. Baseball is a funny sport. It feels like when things are going your way, they really go your way, right? Honestly, I feel like, was it the Red Sox where they made 2 errors in the infield and we won the game and blew it open in the 8th inning. I feel like when things start going good, everything goes good at one time in baseball.
Yeah, and that's what happened with the Mariners. But I have to divert because there's some bad news for the Mariners that you probably just saw me tweet. So let's just I just put like a boop, really quick pause to this whole thing because the vibes are good. We've won 7 in a row, 23 or 24-10 since July 1st, hottest team in baseball. We've made our way to only 5 games out of the division, a game and a half out of Toronto for the last wild card spot. And the maybe unexpected best player on the Seattle Mariners this entire season, I would say, is J.P. Crawford, and he's been the most consistent fielder, the most consistent batter. It's almost inarguable. I know he's not Julio Rodriguez, prospect. I know he's not an all-star like last year, like a Ty France, but J.P. Crawford has been the best player on the Seattle Mariners through and through this season. Batting and fielding, it's been almost no comparison. He's the only person I think batting over 260 or 265 for most of the year. Unfortunately, last game there was a collision, and everyone was worried about a concussion, and it looks like he is headed to the 7-day IL for concussions, for a concussion or concussion protocol type of thing, which is tough because Sam Haggerty's taking his spot now. We'll take a 7-day concussion IL over, a serious injury that you're out for a while, but that sucks because he's kind of been like the high vibe guy of the team. He's like the great leader on this team, and like I say, he's been our best player. Not what you want during a high vibes moment.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks, to be honest with you, but I guess it's one of those things where I will sit there and say, this team seems like I was kind of worried. I called the season over, and I know he's been better than Jared Kelnick. But I called the season over when Jared Kelnick got hurt. They rallied after that. I'm just hoping this team is the type of team that can ignore something like this and rally around it. Other than that, I mean, it's a huge loss, right? We can't really sit here and pretend the loss of J.P. Crawford doesn't mean shit because it means a lot. Like I said, the vibes guy. But I'm just hoping that, with the team winning 8 in a row, confidence flowing, that they can get past this and keep winning games. And it's a 10-day IL. Right, so
7.
It's a 7-day.
You get concussion protocols. I think are 7 days. That's why.
So
I never heard of 7
games.
day, but I think it's a concussion protocol.
Okay, that's fair. So that'd be about 6 games probably in 7 days, maybe 5 games. So I mean, it's a
or it could be 7. I don't know. We just took 2 days off for the first time in a long time.
Or it could be 7 games. I'm just kind of estimating here. In general, though, I'm hoping this team just rally past it and get things done. But it sucks because we are playing Baltimore, who might be the best team, definitely the best team in the American League, maybe the best team in baseball this weekend.
And we don't have a day off. We're in Houston August 20th, and there's still no days off from now. So it's definitely
damn.
So we just had 2 days off in the same week, which never happens. But the Kelnick thing for me, which was fucking the weirdest thing, I actually thought it could be good for the team, and I think I was right. This was shocking. I did not expect to be right about it, but I was really big on the Kelnick kick being a potential momentum changer, hype up the team, kind of like a Jesse Winker, punching somebody on the Angels thing where everyone's suspended, but somehow we're good. And the Kelnick kick, I think, I saw some tweet yesterday. Somebody put Jared Kelnick on the cross, like Jesus, and it was like, don't forget we had to sacrifice Jared Kelnick for this season, and it's worked out. And that kind of I feel woke up the team. One of our best players this year, or one of our best young leaders, is broke his foot freaking out. The J.P. Crawford situation, unfortunately, is a little different when you just get bad luck and a guy gets a concussion. There's not an emotion thing. It's more of a bummer than a wake-up call, right? So I'm just hoping it doesn't become a bummer. He's been amazing at the leadoff position. He's made some insane plays to end games or to save games last couple weeks. All I'm hoping is that somebody like Sam Haggerty now can come in and be okay. I mean, if he can be somewhat of a guy like Dylan Moore has been recently, a couple big hits here and there, not playing awful, right? You can't have AAA Sam Haggerty. If that happens, that really completely changing our lineup, right? We're talking about a guy who's been great at leadoff to switching him with Sam Haggerty. Now, I don't know or think that they'll put Sam at the leadoff. I'm just saying in general, the whole lineup gets flipped upside down from this 7-game winning streak. So, and like you said, you're going in to play Baltimore. A lot of things change here, but I guess my biggest takeaway is you just need one of these guys to play okay. Because I don't know if Rojas or Caballero can play shortstop. I'm not sure what that – I know that they've been platooning at second. I'm not sure.
Shortstop's a tough position to just come in and platoon in. I mean, out of all
Sam Haggerty's just coming in and playing, and he's played like outfield. That's why – but I just don't know. I don't know enough about Rojas or Caballero. They've both played like half a season on the Mariners,
and we
right?
haven't really been prepared for this because this happened as we started recording. So
so I don't know what that deal is, but like you need somebody out of those three. Like our three infielders in those spots right now are Sam Haggerty, Caballero, who's been like the best base running stealer in the league, but he's not very good at batting, and Rojas, who was good for 2 years on Arizona. We traded for him. He hasn't gotten a hit yet with the Mariners. I think he's batting like zero in the AL, and then in the NL he was batting like 180. One of those guys, we need somebody at second or short to like play okay for the next 7 days with JP out, because that completely flips your lineup. When your best batter leaves and then your fill-in guys are all guys that are like sub 200 is not that's not conducive to a 7-game winning streak or continuing the streak.
Yeah, I mean, it's the worst news you can possibly get during this streak, especially look, I'm not going to sit here and say J.P. Crawford's our most important player, but shortstop in general is the hardest position to refill in all of baseball. Shortstop and catcher, those two positions, you can't just plug in anyone. You can plug in a utility guy to first base, third base, second base, outfield. But shortstop and catcher, when your guy gets hurt there, it's almost impossible to replace with anyone of equal level.
Yeah, it's not the outfield. It's not left field. Like, you know what? Dylan Moore, just go out there and stand there. Just need to bat sometimes. Or like, you suck at fielding, but you're a good batter. Just go stand out there and left. Like, you can do that with a lot of guys. We have guys like Teoscar Hernandez. He's not very good in the field. He seems slow, but like he has a good enough bat, so they're like, just
stand in the corner.
Yeah.
If the ball gets hit to you, keep it in front of you.
That's tough news. But let's transition back to some positives.
All right. Well, do you want to talk about what's going on with the team, or do you want to talk about the big, like, positive Felix Hernandez weekend right now?
Let's end with Felix Hernandez weekend because I want to talk about the positives for the team here. We kind of only spoke for 30 seconds about a 7-game winning streak, then we turned it into a sad podcast about J.P. Crawford being out. The vibes are very good right now, despite J.P. Crawford being hurt and getting a concussion and being out for 7 days. The Mariners are the best team in baseball as of right now. Like, they're not the best team in baseball, you know what I mean? They're playing like the best team. Hot winning streak.
Best record in baseball since July 1st. I don't know about you, Sam, but to me, that's the best team in baseball.
I mean, it's more important than being the best record in April. So
right. I mean, we saw Tampa. Tampa started off the season, 12-0?
I think they were like 19-0.
No. 19-0 would be. I think there was like 12 or 13-0. 19-0 is insane. But in general, look at them now. It doesn't matter that you got hot it's better to get hot maybe in September, obviously, than July. But July, August, September, I mean, you want to rank those months. Those are the 3 most important months to get hot in. Well, October too for the playoffs. I'm talking regular season right now.
Yeah, but I know we're not the best team in baseball. And I'm not trying to be pessimistic, but we're not the best team. Like right now, if Vegas had to set odds for a series of us against, the Houston Astros in the playoffs, we would not be favored. Just how it works. So I know we're not the best team in baseball. And we're not visually, statistically, but we are by far, without a doubt, the hottest team in baseball. And at the end of the day, baseball specifically, I think it's important in other sports too, but baseball of all sports, there is something about, what's the best way to put it? There's something about being like, when you're hot in baseball, it doesn't matter what your batting averages are. It doesn't matter what your stats are, how good your team's supposed to be. The Baltimore Orioles were like the lowest payroll last year. The Mariners continue to be a lower payroll team. And Tampa Bay's always the lowest payroll team, and they start off the season 13-0 or whatever. And baseball is that one sport where forget what the numbers say or like your who is your roster. Sometimes if you're just hot, you're hot. And that's why this is really exciting for the Mariners, because if you can somehow just stay hot, obviously we're not talking about winning 7 games in a row every week, but we're talking about like if you can go 7-3 every 10 games, all of a sudden you're going to be, maybe close to a division winner or be in the top wild card spot. And if you continue that into the playoffs, you never really know with baseball. Like, there's always a chance you get hot and work your way to the ALCS or the World Series if you're hot. And it's all about being hot.
Yeah, that's exactly how baseball works, and that's what makes it such a great sport and such a sport where momentum really matters, vibes really matter, clubhouse really matters, and overall, like you said, maybe not the best team in baseball, but man, sometimes like when things are going your way, and if things continue to go our way, you never know what could happen with this team. Really, I mean, go look at the game last year in the playoffs, wild card round, like when we were down 8 runs against Toronto.
It was 7-0 or 8-0.
Yeah, and then just a couple momentum shifts and everything went our way. And I just kind of feel like that's how baseball is, and it's a good antidote for the rest of the season. If the team can stay hot, keep those good vibes rolling, we really don't know. The as Michael Jordan would say, the roof is the ceiling.
The roof is the ceiling. Well, unfortunately, no, the roof is not the ceiling. We don't want the roof to be the ceiling. That means you're constricted. You can say the sky is the ceiling. All doesn't make sense.
There is no ceiling.
Correct.
Well,
you don't want the roof to be the ceiling because it's not very far from here. So I don't have the highest ceilings, which, maybe Michael Jordan's roofs are the ceiling because he has some high ceilings in his house.
He has a different idea of what a roof is.
Yeah, his foyer when he walks in the house is probably 5x the normal house. So maybe for him the roof is the ceiling. Mariners, man, I don't want to expand too far. We're going to be back probably right after this series in 3 days after the weekend. Let's see what happens. I'm hoping this is not a vibe killer. I'm hoping this does not stop anything of momentum. Now, I'm not saying we have to go out there and win 3 straight against Baltimore, the best record in the AL, and win 10 straight. But if you can just come out of this series with another 2 out of 3, we're going to probably be 1 game out of the playoffs at that point. And you're doing that against Baltimore and just continue that momentum. So I'm excited to see what happens. Today's one of those days, George, that I am very ready to sit down and watch the Seattle Mariners. There's a lot of times on weekdays or just throughout times in the season where, you throw it on while you're eating dinner. You throw it on while you're still getting some work done, while you're talking to family. Today's one of those days I am really excited to turn on the baseball game and see what happens.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
I'm pretty hyped. We'll finish off really quick the Mariners part of this with little King Felix talks. If you're listening to this podcast right now, the Mariners podcast, on our feed here or on YouTube, wherever you're listening, there's also a Seahawks portion of this. You'll always see on our podcast the same day, maybe 2 different pods, part 1, part 2. 1 Mariners, 1 Seahawks, sometimes University of Washington stuff. So just stay tuned for that. But King Felix weekend, man, I was just going through some part of my closet. I have a couple of the yellow King Felix, the King's Court shirts still. I remember there were so many moments of cool. It was so cool going to the ballpark on his days, and I haven't felt anything like that since. Castillo's amazing, but it's pretty hard to find a guy like King Felix where you wake up and you say it's Felix Day.
Yeah, and I think part of that Felix Day and the Felix allure was there was nothing else really going on with the franchise or the team other than Felix Hernandez at that time.
What are you trying to say? We sucked?
We saw, yeah, we were horrible, and he was kind of that light. There was a reason to tune into Mariner baseball was because we could watch Felix Hernandez pitch. He did have a couple of runs where the team actually got pretty good, and he had a chance to make the playoffs. Never made the playoffs, obviously. But in general, that's why there was a Felix Day, was because despite the franchise basically surrounding him with crap, he always brought his A game. He always entertained. He always made things fun, and he always was a crowd favorite. He kind of grew up in Seattle. We thought he was going to leave. He left and never pitched another inning in Major League Baseball.
I think he had a spring training game with the Orioles and gave up 5 runs, 6 runs.
There was a Atlanta Braves moment. Yep.
Yeah, but I don't think he pitched a single game.
I don't think he pitched a Major League Baseball inning.
I'm actually going to look that up.
Yeah,
Which
he
honestly,
since he
I'm not saying I was like hoping for his demise. I was actually waiting to see. I was gonna watch like one of his starts when he was on another team. But it does feel fitting that he was like legit just a Seattle Mariner in the big leagues.
Yeah, which is very, very different these days, right? Like you don't really get players who are one franchise guys anymore. I mean, in general, you would hope you get them. I mean, in basketball, Jordan left the Bulls and played the Wizards, played for the Wizards. Griffey left us and played for the Reds and White Sox before returning. You have, so many instances. Tom Brady leaving the Patriots, but Felix was always a Mariner. He left. He tried to leave, actually, but it just never got.
We didn't want to leave, but he was told to leave, and then he tried to like revitalize somewhere else.
Yeah, which I guess they were right. He was done.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on his baseball reference. I don't want you to go look because I actually have a trivia thing for
cool.
you.
Okay.
But if you look at it, it's pretty insane. This dude started at 19 years old. He was 4-4 at 19 years old with a 2.67 ERA in 12 starts.
Yeah.
Okay, and then he was, second year was a little less, but we're talking from 19 years old to, and then at 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, he was either an all-star, the Cy Young winner, top 10 or 20 in or top 20 in MVP voting for a solid, whatever amount of stretch, which is hilarious because at that 2010 season when he won the Cy Young was the one season in that stretch he wasn't an all-star, however the fuck that works. And then the last 2 years, though, like, it was clear. So the last 2 years, he went 8-14 at 32 years old with a 5.55 ERA, and then in 2019, he was 1 for 8 with a 6.4 ERA. I mean, that's a decent sample size in 15 starts. It was done. But I wanted to ask you a trivia question really quick.
All right.
What numbers were Felix Hernandez in his career?
34.
Correct.
13.
No.
I thought it was just 34, so I just threw 17.
His rookie year, he had a different number. I just remembered now that I saw it.
19, because he's 19 years old. Okay, I actually had no idea.
59.
Huh, interesting.
If you go Google his rookie year stuff, like he did wear 59.
Interesting.
Yeah. Fun fact.
Fun facts about Felix Hernandez.
I thought you would get that one for some reason.
No, yeah, I didn't even know he wore a different jersey number for a year.
I wonder if it's online, like buy his 59 jersey.
Or you can probably just customize it at the Mariners team store. Hernandez 59.
Yeah, maybe he didn't wear it the whole season. I don't know. All I know is on Baseball Reference, he said that was his numbers rookie year. Maybe he wore it for a game or two, but he only played 12 games. So
yeah,
that's
but no, interesting.
Yeah, he deserves this weekend though. If there's anyone that deserves it, it is him. Especially, you look at a lot of other stars we've had, the Ken Griffey's, the Ichiro's, the whatever. All of them had at least a moment of glory. Like Ichiro, he was part of I know it was his rookie year, but he won MVP and Rookie of the Year and went to the playoffs. Best record ever in the history of baseball. They all had
broke the
their
hits
moment.
record.
Yeah, they all had their moments. As a pitcher, only playing 30 out of the 162 games, no playoffs. Felix never got a moment. He got the no hitter. I know he got his personal accomplishes, but he just never got that.
The perfect
game. That fucking.
I guess that's his crown jewel though. That's his crown jewel moment. If you're gonna talk about
yeah, but I'm not talking about personal accomplishments. I'm talking about the team.
Okay.
All the other Mariners legends at least got to experience a playoff series.
Yeah.
He didn't. He barely ever. He pitched in a couple meaningful end of the season games, but not even that often. So
poor guy.
It's just tough.
Question for you. You did look that up. He says Baseball Reference, and you gave me all those quiz numbers, but you didn't tell me. Did he pitch an inning anywhere else?
No, he did not.
He did not. Okay.
But at least they didn't list anything. So
all right. So he didn't.
Yeah, which is. It's fitting. It's just I guess that's the best way to say it, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, He had a good career. It was a little shorter than it should have been, though, because he could have ended up with some stats that were unbelievable. But I think he got his money's worth and lived a life of, well, he's alive still, but when he was pitching, he lived a life of happiness and pitching at the same time, if you know what I mean. He liked to party.
I was gonna say, well, what do you mean by this?
He
mean
liked
like-
to party.
Yeah, you mean he didn't always keep in the best shape, is what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, he lived a great he enjoyed himself and pitched some really good baseball at the same time.
Hey, why not?
No, why not? We're really, like, you live once, and he embodied that.
Man, King Felix. It's I don't know. Maybe that's the good vibes that we needed this weekend. Even though JP's out, we're just gonna have some. You know, it's gonna be high energy in that stadium. So,
You know, we're about to go out today and lose 1-0.
in honor, oh, Castillo's pitching too, of
Oh,
course.
fuck.
In honor.
But tomorrow's a Hall of Fame night, so tomorrow is the 1-0.
That's true. Okay, so we're good. We'll win tonight, 8 in a row. Awesome. Well, next up, we get to some Seahawks.
Yep.
All right, let's do it.